Hey everyone! Today we're exploring another chilling and disturbing case. If you'd like to support the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and stay engaged. It really means a lot. I truly appreciate it. Now, take a deep breath and let's dive in. It started with a missing wife, but inside the interrogation room, something unraveled. 5 small lies, told with a straight face, would tear apart a church, a family, and a man's carefully constructed image. And by the time detectives played back the tape, the killer had confessed, without even realizing it. Marissa Brooks was the kind of woman people trusted. Youth mentor, choir coordinator, and full-time mom to 2 young daughters. She and her husband Alan had been married for 12 years. To outsiders, they were the model Christian couple, faithful, polished, and picture-perfect. But behind the closed doors of their home in suburban Georgia, Marissa had started whispering about fear. She told a friend Alan was controlling, paranoid, that he was hiding something. She even started keeping a secret folder on her phone. Screenshots, receipts, suspicious messages. She said she was planning to leave. She never got the chance. October 15th, 2024. Alan calls 911 at 3:17 a.m. Says Marissa stormed out after an argument. Said she never came back. When police arrive, he's calm. Too calm. No panic. No urgency. Just detached. There are no signs of struggle. No note. No open phone. Just a freshly bleached hallway floor and an oddly empty laundry hamper. 911 call playback. She left around midnight. She said she needed air. I figured she'd come back. But Marissa's phone last pinged 2 blocks away. Then nothing. No calls. No social media. No bank activity. She'd vanished. Friends and family raised the alarm immediately. Marissa had never disappeared before. She wouldn't abandon her kids. And she certainly wouldn't leave her Bible behind. Then police learned something even more disturbing. Just weeks before her disappearance, Alan had taken out a $500,000 life insurance policy in her name, without telling her. The mask of the perfect husband began to crack, and detectives brought him in for questioning. The entire interrogation lasted over 4 hours, and it only took 5 lies to bring everything down. Lie 1, we didn't fight that night, but Marissa's sister had FaceTimed her just hours before and witnessed the tears. Lie 2, she had no enemies, but police uncovered threatening texts from a woman named Danielle, who later admitted to having a year-long affair with Alan. Lie 3, I was home all night, but Ring camera footage caught Alan slipping out the back gate at 2:09 a.m. in gloves. Lie 4, that's not my shovel. The one used to bury Marissa was purchased with his debit card. Lie 5, I had no motive, but when Danielle was brought in, she revealed a damning message. Alan told me he'd be a free man by November. He said the Lord had made a way. The room went cold. The detective slid a photo across the table. A church banner, bloodstained, wrapped around a body pulled from the creek. Alan looked at it and whispered just one word, mercy. But what came next wasn't forgiveness. It was the moment the mask finally came off. After 4 hours in the interrogation room, Alan was unraveling. He kept quoting scripture, asking to pray, but detectives weren't playing pastor. They slid a photo across the table, Marissa's body, wrapped in a church banner, found near the edge of a creek, her hands bound, her mouth covered in duct tape. Detective, this isn't a mistake, Alan. This is murder, and you left your fingerprints on it. Alan's hand shook. He stammered. He muttered the word, mercy, but mercy wouldn't save him now. Inside Marissa's body bag, forensics found a single hair, short, black, and coarse. It matched Alan. More damning, the blood in the hallway bleach didn't fully erase. Luminol lit up the tiles like a crime scene confessional. The pattern showed signs of dragging. Marissa didn't walk out. She was carried. Expert says, when bleach mixes with blood, it doesn't erase DNA. It just tells us someone wanted to hide it. But the most explosive moment came from someone outside the room. Danielle Cooper, Alan's mistress, a married woman, a choir singer, a friend of Marissa's. She came forward the day after the body was found. Her words shattered what little defense Alan had left. Alan said the Lord was making a way, that once she was gone, we could be together. He said Marissa didn't love him anymore. He said she was in the way of his calling. She turned over a box of handwritten letters. One read, "He who finds a wife finds a good thing. But what if God gives you a second chance?" Signed, Ellen. Detectives now had it all. The lie about the argument, the fake alibi, the hidden affair, the buried body, and a $500,000 life insurance policy that had just cleared. Guess who the sole beneficiary was? Alan. And guess when the payout was scheduled? 2 days after Marissa's body was found. With mounting pressure, Alan did something unexpected. He asked for a Bible. Then he asked to speak, not to his lawyer, but to the camera. What followed next was not a confession. It was something worse. The room went quiet as Alan flipped through the pages. He stopped at the Book of Judges, then looked straight into the camera. Alan said, "Sometimes God needs to remove a woman for a man to fulfill his calling. That's scripture. That's Samson." The detective froze. This wasn't confession. It was a justification. For the next 12 minutes, Alan delivered what can only be described as a monologue, equal parts preaching and unraveling. Alan also said, "My wife didn't support my vision. She mocked the ministry. She was Jezebel in disguise. The Lord gives and the Lord takes away." Detectives sat in stunned silence. One later said, "It felt like we were watching a man become unhinged in real time." Alan wasn't just quoting scripture. He was weaponizing it. A forensic psychologist was later brought in to review the footage. Her analysis? Disturbing. This wasn't religious belief. This was delusion cloaked in theology. He believed God wanted his wife gone. Alan wasn't trying to get away with murder. He believed it wasn't murder at all. But here's what most people never heard. A handwritten letter, hidden in the back of Alan's Bible, discovered days after the interrogation, addressed to Danielle for when I'm gone. Excerpt from the letter. Asterisk. "If they twist this into something evil, know that I acted in obedience. The blood on my hands is holy." Asterisk. That letter never made it to trial. The defense argued it was prejudicial, but it revealed a terrifying truth. Alan didn't just kill Marissa. He believed it was divine. And then came the trial. 17 days of testimony. A courtroom packed with church members, some praying for Alan. But just when the prosecution thought they had it locked, a single piece of evidence went missing. The blood-stained banner, gone from evidence storage. And someone on the inside may have helped make it disappear. March 2025. Fulton County Superior Court. Alan Brooks is charged with first-degree murder, tampering with evidence, insurance fraud. The courtroom is packed. On one side, Marissa's family, sobbing quietly. On the other, church members clutching Bibles, still calling Alan pastor. The prosecution starts strong. Surveillance footage, the life insurance policy, Danielle's testimony. But the most important piece? The church banner used to wrap Marissa's body. A direct link between Alan, the church, and the crime, until it vanishes. Day 6 of the trial. The DA called for Exhibit 24, the blood-stained church banner, the one that had Alan's fingerprints and Marissa's blood. But when they open the evidence locker, it's gone. Court clerk says, "Exhibit 24 is missing, Your Honor." The courtroom explodes. Gasps, yelling. The judge calls a recess, and the defense seizes a moment. The defense attorney, "Your Honor, we move to suppress all references to the missing item unless it can be produced." Outside the courthouse, things get worse. Some church members organize a prayer vigil, not for Marissa, for Alan. The community is torn. Some say Alan was framed. Others say it's spiritual blindness. One protester even shouts, "Jezebel got what she deserved." The judge issues a gag order, but the damage is already done. The missing banner triggers an internal investigation. Evidence room logs show something strange. One late-night entry. Badge ID, D. Walthers. officer, church member, and Alan's former Bible study partner. When questioned, Walters claimed he was doing routine checks. But CCTV footage says otherwise. He left the building 7 minutes later, carrying a duffel bag. A search of his home turned up nothing. The banner was never recovered. Alan's lawyers file a mistrial motion, and for a brief moment, it looks like he might walk free. But just as the case begins to collapse, a silent witness comes forward, an 11-year-old girl, Marissa's daughter. She saw something that night, something no one was supposed to see, and her testimony might change everything. Marissa and Alan had 2 daughters. Kaylee, the youngest, was just 6. And then there was Maya, 11 years old, quiet, observant. She'd been staying with her aunt since her mother's death, until one night, she whispered something at bedtime that changed everything. She said, "Annie, I know what Daddy did to Mommy." And then she started crying. Asterisk. Maya took the stand with her aunt beside her. The courtroom was dead silent. She told the jury what she heard from behind the bathroom door. "I heard Mommy crying. She said, 'Please, don't do this. The girls are sleeping.' Then I heard a thump. Then Daddy say, 'This is for your rebellion.' I stayed in the closet until morning." Asterisk. Her voice never cracked, but everyone else in the room did. Jurors cried. Even the judge had to call a recess. It wasn't just a testimony. It was a child's trauma, replayed under oath, and no cross-examination could erase it. The prosecution rested its case. The defense, once so confident, now had a choice to make. Put Alan on the stand or fold. And then one more surprise. A hidden voice memo found in Marissa's old phone backup. A 38-second audio file titled, "If anything happens to me," Marissa said, "If you're hearing this, I didn't leave. I would never leave my girls. Alan's not who you think he is. Please protect Maya and Kaylee. I'm scared of him." Asterisk. It was recorded the night before she disappeared. The jury is stunned. The evidence is overwhelming. But in a shocking twist, Alan's defense team plays their final card, a surprise medical diagnosis, one that could shift the entire verdict from murder to mental illness. On the final week of trial, the defense introduced a surprise witness, a forensic psychiatrist. He testified that Alan Brooks suffered from a rare form of religious delusional disorder, a condition where faith becomes fused with psychosis. According to the doctor, Alan believed he was receiving divine instruction, that Marissa was possessed, and that her death was a form of spiritual warfare. Then defense attorneys said, this wasn't cold-blooded murder. It was a psychotic break. Alan Brooks doesn't belong in prison. He belongs in treatment. Asterisk. The courtroom was stunned. Was this man a manipulative killer or a mentally ill pastor who lost touch with reality? Before the jury broke for deliberation, something happened that no one expected. Maya stood up, walked across the courtroom, and looked directly at her father. Asterisk. You said God wanted Mommy gone, but God didn't take her. You did. Asterisk. Alan didn't blink, didn't cry, just whispered. You'll understand one day. The jury deliberated for 16 hours, split at first. Some believed Alan was mentally unfit. Others couldn't ignore the planning, the bleach, the buried body, the insurance policy. Finally, a unanimous decision. Asterisk. The jury, find the defendant, Alan Brooks, guilty of first-degree murder. Asterisk. The room erupted. Marissa's family sobbed. Alan's supporters sat in stunned silence. The judge sentenced him to life without parole. No chance of early release. No pulpit. No redemption tour. Maya and Kaylee now live with their aunt, who started a non-profit in Marissa's name, helping victims of domestic abuse escape before it's too late. The church that once called Alan a prophet quietly removed him from their website, but his supporters, some still believe he was chosen. In the end, it wasn't police work. It wasn't DNA. It wasn't even the interrogation room. It was 5 lies, 1 child's truth, and a voice memo from beyond the grave that brought a killer to justice. Rest in peace, Marissa Brooks. You were never just a wife. You were a warning. And now you're a legacy. What are your thoughts on this case? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to stay updated with more stories, where each case isn't just about crime, but also offers a lesson for life.